laws, and that's been going on a little bit now and progressing throughout the country. And I've got one of the foremost experts here in the studio talking about cannabis and the CBD and some of the misconceptions and the fun stuff that goes on with it. But I promised Austin and Rick a shot. And again, it's good discourse. Okay, I'm open-minded. I really like to look at both sides. Austin, how you doing? Camp Pendleton, are you in the service?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Thank you for calling in. What do you got?
No worries. I just got a little between the misunderstanding of what an automatic weapon is.
Okay.
And how they're available or not available to the general public.
Yeah.
Basically, there's so many regulations in order to get an actual automatic weapon compared to buying a civilian AK variant, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So if you put a spoiler on a Civic, does it make it faster? Not really. But if it looks like it's faster, it must be. So what I'm getting at is just because it looks like it doesn't mean it has the same capabilities as the military version. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. Again, there's so many gray areas, isn't it? I mean, how fast is fast and how slow is slow, and how many times can you pull the trigger and the bump stocks and all that stuff. So, these are not black and white issues. They're just not.
Right.
And our country, we cannot go back to Japan or go to Australia because they pretty much abandoned guns, and it's worked. But this country's beyond that. We're just not going to do that. It's just not going to happen.
Right, that won't happen. Statistics and all that stuff show different things, results, crime rates went up for different things. So
exactly. Yeah.
That's beside the point. It's just the misinformation that's given to the general public that bothers me.
On both sides. I would say on both sides.
And Austin, we were talking about this during the break as well too. There's a lot of misconceptions about what an assault rifle is versus an automatic weapon, and an AK-47 probably is an automatic weapon, whereas an AR-15 is not. And there's a huge difference when you have a semi-automatic rifle, and there are automatic weapons are effectively banned. Like you said, and a lot of people think that they're not, and it's just not that common of a thing. And so,
I guess the only argument I'm going to say, to interrupt, sorry, is that I was in the Army as well, and thank you for your service, by the way, Austin. But if you can pull the trigger as fast as you can pull the trigger, you're almost effectively becoming, using it as a machine gun. When you can repeatedly, as quick as you can, pop, 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 pop. To me, that is something that is not a hunting rifle. That is something that can be a lot more dangerous. That's just common sense to me.
But the Second Amendment was never really about hunting. No, it wasn't. It was about protecting.
You're right. No, you're right. It probably wasn't.
So we need to make sure we differentiate between that. And I think that the Second Amendment, as we discussed, it mentions militia, but it also mentions people. And it doesn't mention militia in the second part of the sentence where it says the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. If they really meant that the militia was their main point of that Second Amendment, then they would have said the right of the militia to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That's my opinion about it, and I think that's a lot of people's opinion.
Let's ask the professor here.
And when they wrote the Second Amendment, it took a long time to make two shots. They had to go repack, put a new ball in, and shoot. So,
but the freedom of speech also translates into current speech and online speech and other types of speech that they couldn't even imagine back then too.
Right.
So that is, we have to update as we go along.
Yeah.
So so you can. Well, Austin, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. And good luck to you, and thank you again for your service. I appreciate it, and I know we all do. It goes down to definitions, and it goes down to do we look at the Constitution as a document that doesn't move, or is it all of does it progress with the world as we progress? That's a big deal right there as to how you evaluate the Constitution. Is it, one set of documents that never changes with the times? And I'm not going to make a comment, but it can go, you got to look at that. And I think people...
That's a big deal.
I think it's
a big deal in this.
Yeah. So now let's turn the corner. How about that? We, anybody getting high out there? Look, yeah. So Bad Grandpa is here, and that's Ray Taylor of the Healing Center. You're in Mission Valley.
Yes, sir. Mission Valley.
Yeah, put your near the microphone there so we can hear you.
There you go.
And appreciate you coming in, Ray. And I interviewed you for, I believe, Channel 6 or radio or something or both some time ago when you first opened up. You had a little teeny shop. I haven't been back, and I'm sure I know you're looking
You haven't
to
been
expand.
back?
No, well, no, I haven't.
Now you hurt my feelings.
You sold me a bunch of stuff. No. I find it intriguing, that the laws have been somewhat rapidly changing. I will tell a quick story, and we've got a little bit of time here. My mother-in-law, as she was dying of cancer, the nicest lady in the world. I mean, just an amazing person. And as she had cancer and going through it and started to suffer and all that, and not eat, and she was offered, marijuana or some form of it so that she could get an appetite and maybe ease her pain a little bit. And she steadfastly did not want to do that because she said, that's marijuana, as they were giving her morphine. I just find that really tough to understand.
Well, that's the stigma that's been attached to this product. I consider it God's gift to us. It's the most amazing drug that you can take this and it can help you with cancer.
Cannabis, you mean?
You're right, cannabis. And it has no side effects unless you consider being hungry a side effect.
That is one.
And fat guys like us don't need that. But it's amazing. When I first got into the business, I was financially motivated to get into it. It was a brand new industry. How many chances in a lifetime do you get a brand new industry? Mm-hmm. And I'm a businessman. I went, boy, this is going to be fun. But what I like to do is stand outside my store and talk to the clients who come in and out. And I heard so many wonderful stories about how cannabis had changed her life, changed her son's life. I have a friend that showed up one day, doesn't use cannabis, but he had prostate cancer, and he came to say goodbye to me because the doctor gave him 6 months to live and said, get your life in order and say goodbye to people because your PSAs are over 88 now. And he just saw no future. And he came in, and first we tried THC suppositories because of this prostate cancer. You want to get as close as possible. And we got no results. And he came back a month later and he said, hey, I told you it wouldn't work. And I said, I'm not done yet. I have a whole store full of products. And we tried a CBD RSO, which is a real strong version of the CBD, which doesn't get you high. And he used that. He came back 2 months later. His CBDs were 3.5. The doctor wanted to know, what the hell are you doing?
The PSA.
PSA is the sign of how much cancer you have in your bloodstream.
Wow. Now, but those aren't real effective studies.
Right.
They're isolated studies. They're not, double blind.
They're all analytical.
Yeah.
What we want to do is we want to do studies, but as long as the federal government stands in our way, we can't do studies. The universities cannot get the product to test. I want these studies because I know this product works because I have thousands of people that come to my shop and they tell me all these wonderful stories about how cannabis has changed their lives to the better. We're in a pain management building and the doctor there sends patients to us. He says, these people should not be exposed to opiates. They have addictive personalities. Can you help them? And we use things like the indica strain, which is more of a downing kind of product. And it works really well for getting people off opium, off alcohol, that type of thing.
And some people say that marijuana or cannabis is actually less harmful than alcohol. What's your thought?
Oh, absolutely. I come from an Irish family, and my family is mostly drunks. And I've seen alcohol destroy lives, destroy your body, destroy your liver, your kidney, and so on. Marijuana has no side effects. There has never been a death directly connected to the use of cannabis.
Yeah, and I have heard that, although I guess you could say that that's not necessarily true for people who might be high driving a car who can just,
Well, we can't guarantee against idiots.
Well, okay, fair enough.
If you drink and drive, if you use marijuana and drive, you're an idiot.
Okay, and I definitely would agree with that. Yeah. So you got into this business, and was it because you enjoyed using these drugs, or I guess you'd call them a drug?
Yeah, it's a drug.
And you said financial. You got in the ground floor.
Right.
It's a thriving business for all what I can see. There's so many different products out there. I'm the kind of guy that I think the effect of it is definitely different than alcohol.
Yes.
Some people just don't tolerate it very well.
Yeah, well, everybody's different. When we talk to people about using cannabis, we try to explain it to one person will have one effect from the same product, and another person will have a completely different effect from the same product. So we always tell them to start small with dosing. It's the biggest problem that I've seen since it's become recreational is people overdose, which is basically...
Especially with edibles, right?
Right. And then when I say overdose, I don't mean like an opium overdose. I mean they just get really anxious. They feel uncomfortable.
And then they fall asleep.
And then they fall asleep. So what I always tell people is start real small. 10 milligrams of THC is a good starting dosage. Either in edibles or with a joint, it's a lot easier because you smoke and you can tell. But when you eat something, you can't uneat it. So I tell them start small, wait an hour, see how it affects your body. And then if you need more, you can take more. But you can't untake if you eat 100 milligrams. You can't say, gee, I should have taken 50 and try to uneat 50 milligrams. So start small, do a little bit of time. I remember reading a report by a reporter who came to Colorado and ate a whole candy bar to see what it's like. She took in 100 milligrams, I think. No, I take it back. It was 1,000 milligrams. It was back before they regulated it. And she had a terrible experience because she got anxious and so on. But it's like drinking a whole bottle of tequila the first time you decide to drink alcohol. You're going to have a bad effect from that.
Well, you can actually die from that.
Right. You can die from alcohol. You cannot. Like you said, the worst thing that happens with an overdose with cannabis is you go to sleep.
So when we come back from the break, I'd like to know more about the demographics, about the people. Is it just the young hippies out there, if we still have hippies, or are we seeing older and even more conservative people now taking a shot at it? So let's take a break. We got Jim hanging by to give us the news and what's going on out there, and then when we come back, we'll talk more about that right after this.
A hit-and-run suspect who led police on a chase from Los Angeles County into northern San Diego County was taken into custody after a 45-minute standoff that prompted the shutdown of the freeway for nearly an hour. The man reportedly ran over a scooter rider up in Playa del Rey, then withstood 4 pit maneuvers, finally reaching the I-5 and getting as far south as Las Pulgas Road near Camp Pendleton. A San Diego-based U.S. Navy SEAL will face court-martial proceedings, including premeditated murder charges in connection with the 2017 death of an ISIS fighter in Iraq. U.S. Navy prosecutors accuse Special Ops Chief Edward Gallagher in the stabbing death of an injured 15-year-old ISIS fighter in Mosul. A bizarre incident at a Wells Fargo in Solana Beach this morning. A man entered the bank, told everyone inside to get on the floor, announced he was robbing the bank, and then directed workers to call 911. When deputies arrived, they found the man inside with his hands up in the air, and he surrendered without incident. You're never more than 15 minutes away from the top stories of the day on the Brett Winterble Show, AM 760, Talk and Breaking News.
AM 760, Talk and Breaking News. 760.
AM 760 traffic on I-15 southbound right around Balboa Avenue. An accident a little bit earlier reportedly still being tended and slowing traffic. 163 freeway southbound before Friars Road, a crash. Cars involved, center divider there. This report sponsored by Sylvania Automotive. Sylvania is always looking to improve their headlights, so they developed their Silver Star Ultra headlights to have greater clarity and the brightest down-road visibility. Sylvania, think farther down the road. Follow Armstrong and Getty tomorrow morning from 5 till 10 on AM 760.
Hey, Duncan and everyone at Newman Replacement Windows want you to have a happy, healthy new any other offer, and it expires January 31st. So call them now and get this done before the end of the month. You know they never subcontract, 100% lifetime warranty on labor, 100% lifetime warranty on all Milgard products. 877-7-NEWMAN. They have a Milgard showroom on Marina Boulevard, or they can come to you, free in-home estimate. 877-7-NEWMAN or NewmanWindows.com. License number 570472.
If you're looking for the pros to get your windows, call 877-7-NEWMAN.
You may have different priorities when it comes to selling your house. Maybe you want it sold quickly. Maybe you want it sold for as much money as possible. So whatever your desires are, call Dan Beer and he'll make that happen for you. He's one of the top 150 real estate agents in the whole country. He's right here in San Diego, part of eXp Realty. That's according to the Wall Street Journal. So give him a call, pick his brain about any home selling question you have. When the market is hot, homes are flying off the shelves, then you can get away with maybe selling your house with an agent who sells 1 or 2 houses a year. But when the market's way it is now, you really want an expert who's seen the cycle, who knows where we're going, and who's going to get you either top dollar or sold quickly. So this is why I trust Dan. Known him for a while. When I sell my house, absolutely calling Dan Beer. I trust him. 1-800-667-2003. This is a big decision you're making about how to sell your house. A lot of money on the line here. I want it done right. Dan Beer, 1-800-667-2003 or sold by danbeer.com.
You want to know what's going on around town? It's in your Daily Dose. Join me, Ashley Jacobs. I'll take you around town. Cool places to go. This is amazing. Great things to do. We don't want to miss that. Fun fitness ideas. She's looking good. Get your Daily Dose. The adrenaline is pumping. It's time. Weekdays on News 8 This Morning from 4:30 to 7, followed by News 8 Morning Extra from 7 to 9 on the CW.
At Inside Edition, there's always more to the story.
You crossed the line. There's more to know,
How to stay safe while jogging.
more to feel,
That is my wife, man.
more to uncover.
Did you abuse the children in your practice, sir?
With Inside Edition, there's always more to the story.
The #1 daily magazine, Inside Edition. Weeknights at 7:30 on CBS 8.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money. Easy to learn, easy to use, small business software tailored just for you. With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Have an accident? Call Mark Motors Body Shop, 619-440-0436. That's Mark, M-A-R-C-K, markmotors.com.
Here's today's Aramco report with KFMB's real estate and mortgage analyst, Mehran Aram.
The new year is off to a good start for the mortgage market. Mortgage rates fell by another 1/8% given the continued rally in the bond market, which began about 2 months ago. Back in November, the 10-year Treasury note yield was at a 7-year high, just under 3.25%. But today, it is down to 2.62% on continued pessimism about the global economy. Conforming no point 30-year fixed rates now average 4.5%, with 15-year rates closer to 3 7/8. Now for something completely different, did you know that a Sesame Street character was given a distinct honor by the U.S. Library of Congress in April of 2000? Big Bird was awarded the title of Living Legend by the Library of Congress after 30 years of being on Sesame Street. For more information on home loans or real estate, visit our website at aramco.biz or call me at 877-760-1130. This is Mehran Aram for AM 760 KFMB.
I love having the opposition come on. We love to have Pelosi on. Pelosi's daughter was quoted over the New Year's holiday as saying about how tenacious she is.
How does she approach meetings with President Trump?
She'll cut your head off and you won't even know you're bleeding.
That's what she said.
She'll cut your head off and you won't even know you're bleeding. No one ever won betting against Nancy Pelosi.
Mom will cut your head off. Well, Happy New Year.
AM 760.
That should play well. So much for just looking for some sort of common ground.
Talk.
Another indication that the holidays are really over.
And breaking news.
Welcome back, everybody. Jeff Isaac, the lawyer in blue jeans, with attorney Justin Isaac, talking law, life, and everything in between. And we're kind of in between here, although we do have some bunch of law stuff that's going on. We have Ray of the Healing Center, who was number 3 to open in San Diego and has prospered in Mission Valley. And he has, I'd love to know, Ray, the demographics. Traditionally, we have felt that it was the young guys and gals that would get high, you know, they'd go through school. And I'm sure, Dan, as a professor, you've seen plenty of your kids going through, you know, high and whatever.
And smelled it in class, even.
Yeah. So, what are you looking at now? Are you seeing a shift? Do you see?
Well,
what would you say the
like you,
percentages
Jeff.
are?
When I first got in this business, I thought it would be all what I call the teeny boppers, the kids maybe in their 20s and so on. So we did a lot of advertising in the Reader, which is their type of publication. But I have cameras, 26 of them, and I watch the cameras all the time.
26 cameras?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to watch the cash box. You got to watch
Oh,
everything. Yeah. But I was watching the cameras and I noticed that our demographic skewed up. We start around 40 and move up from there. It's
The median is 40?
Yes. You can see I got a perfect face for radio. I'm trying to show a graph on radio.
Yeah, I'm watching your hands. Okay.
But I was amazed because I thought it'd be really heavy in the 20s, and it was slow in the 20s. But as soon as we got up in the 40s, it started growing. So all the baby boomers are starting to have aches and pains. And this is a perfect product for them because it's not addictive. There's no real side effects, and it works fantastically.
All right, now, let's get the number out. 1-800-760-KFMB, 1-800-760-5362 if you want to chime in or ask Ray questions or any of us, because we do have some legal issues here. But when you say there's no effect, you're not talking about cannabis, you're talking about CBD, correct?
Well, in fact, you can have a psychoactive effect. The effect I'm talking about is addiction, hangovers, those types of things.
All right, okay. I'm going to call you on this, Ray.
Okay.
So people say this is a what's the word, Justin? I want it's a
gateway drug.
Gateway drug. Now, how do you defend that? I mean, you go from marijuana to morphine to some of these really scary, disastrous drugs. How do you counter the fact that marijuana is the first step to something worse?
Well, the first step to everything is usually beer. But when I was a kid, the first thing we drank.
But you can't defend maybe a bad alcohol law that we have, but it is what we have, and we're not going to go back to prohibition by saying we have it, and therefore if beer's okay, but it's not, then so is marijuana. Well, then you can go to the next step as well.
Well, we've actually seen the reverse of that. We get a lot of people coming through the door who are addicted to opiates, who are addicted to alcohol, and they need to get off it because it's destroying their body. Most of the people I talk to who are alcoholics say, I love alcohol. I don't want to stop drinking alcohol, but my doctor says it's killing me. So I want to try marijuana because it doesn't kill me.
Well, what if you inhale it? What's the studies on lung cancer, things like that with inhaling?
There's no effect. They can't directly correlate lung cancer.
But it's got to be young.
Well, anything you take into your lungs is dangerous, even the air we breathe.
So you're better off using the oils?
There's many ways of taking. You can vape. You can eat it.
Although vape is...
that goes in your lungs also.
Yeah.
But there's edibles. There's tinctures where you can take it lingually under your tongue. So we have a lot of people who have lung problems and can't smoke marijuana, which is okay because we have tinctures, candies, everything that you think.
Candies.
There's all kinds of ways to get cannabis into your body to help.
What's the most intriguing, maybe unexpected thing that you've learned as the owner of the Healing Center since you started business a couple of years ago, whenever it was?
A couple of things. One, the demographic that you were talking about, that people of 40 and up, the senior citizens, are really starting to use our product because they were around in the 60s like I was, and there was a stigma attached to marijuana. But now they know, hey, it's no big deal to take marijuana, and their neighbor are doing it now. I kind of relate it to the gay movement. When your son or your uncle, your brother, your sister turned out to be gay, and you went, hey, they're not crazy people, they're wonderful people. It's the same with cannabis. My neighbor smokes cannabis, but Charlie's a great guy, but it really helps his back. I have a lot of retired police officers coming in because they all have wounds and aches and pains from their job, and they can't wait till they're out of the police service so they can start using CBDs and the other THC products.
So two other things real quick, and let's go with the law stuff. In the state of California, it's legal to buy and use some of these products. But in the federal government's point of view, it is absolutely 100% illegal. How do you can't even take credit cards. You don't take checks. You take cash.
Right.
It's almost like bootlegging, it seems like, in the old days. How do you rectify that? I mean, you've got a dichotomy of laws here. California says, yeah, but the federal government trumps California law. No pun intended. On the other hand, they haven't been enforcing it, although the president has discussed it in sessions, I think, as when he was Attorney General has, but it's not done yet. That's got to be interesting as an owner. Your business can go down in flames real quick.
Right. But the thing I think has saved us is we're a huge economy for California and the other. There's 40 states.
But it's not California that makes that decision. It's the feds.
Right. But the feds, we had a state law that just came up. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It was called states' rights, and McConnell wouldn't bring it to the floor, but that would allow, if it was legal in a state, then it's legal federally, and that would allow us to have banks and do banking, not have to do everything in cash.
So is that like full faith and credit, Dan?
No, but it sounds like it could work.
Yeah, with states' rights. But
Yeah.
McConnell wouldn't even bring it to the floor because he knows it would pass because there's over 40 states that have some kind of marijuana legal in their state, either medical, recreational, or both.
Do you expect a federal tax if it ever gets legalized federally?
Sure.
Absolutely.
The problem I have with it is...
And I don't mind paying taxes. I mean, there's a lot of taxes in California. I think it's 25%.
It's
28%.
crazy. That is so crazy, and I think we're stunting the growth of the marijuana economy as a result.
You're pushing the black market.
We got a call coming in, Tommy, and we got to take a break. So first we got to go and hear a little bit about what the news is from Jim, and then when we come back, Tommy, you're first up. 1-800-760-KFMB. Jeff Isaac sitting in for Brett right after this.
A suspected hit-and-run driver held police at bay for nearly an hour, prompting a massive backup on the I-5. We'll have the latest next.
AM 760, talk and breaking news.
Hey, Duncan and everyone at Newman Replacement Windows want you to have a happy, healthy new year. And to help you with that, they want to help you create a more comfortable, efficient home in 2019. And you can do that by updating your windows and patio doors with Newman Replacement Windows. This month, you can save $200 off the MSRP on energy-efficient Milgard vinyl windows when you purchase 5 or more. And you can also save $500 off the MSRP on Milgard vinyl patio doors. This offer can't be combined with any other offer, and it expires January 31st. So call them now and get this done before the end of the month. You know they never subcontract, 100% lifetime warranty on labor, 100% lifetime warranty on all Milgard products. 877-7-NEWMAN. They have a Milgard showroom on Marina Boulevard, or they can come to you, free and home estimate. 877-7-NEWMAN or newmanwindows.com. License number 570472.
If you're looking for the pros to get your windows, call 877-7-NEWMAN.
Attention. If you're in debt to the IRS and frustrated with your options, for a limited time you can call and quickly check your eligibility for the Fresh Start programs offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax problem. Through this special toll-free hotline number, you can find out in minutes if you qualify for these powerful new debt reduction programs green-lighted by the IRS for 2019. If you have unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or just want to know your options, business or personal, Republic Tax Relief's A-plus rated tax relief system has helped thousands stop IRS collections immediately and saved millions in tax debt. These relief programs will not last forever. Call the hotline number now, 800-721-8113. That's 800-721-8113. Check your eligibility for tax debt savings today. Call 800-721-8113. That's 800-721-8113.
Is credit card debt burying you alive? What if one phone call could help save you thousands of dollars? Years of stress and anxiety. What if one phone call, right now, could help save your family from bankruptcy? We're Credit Associates, and one phone call to us could help save you thousands. Because if you have more than $5,000 in credit card debt, you may not have to pay it all off. For free information on how we could settle your debt for a lot less than you owe, call 1-800-500-7226. There's no obligation, just free information. Sometimes all it takes to change your life is one phone call. Make your call now and we'll show you, for free, just how much money you could save. 1-800-500-7226. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk to call. This is too important to wait. Call 1-800-500-7226.
Save on San Diego County's largest selection of L-certified Lexuses from Lexus Carlsbad or Lexus Escondido. Save time and shop online at LexusCarlsbad.com or LexusEscondido.com. Hurry in today.
Blue Emu Lidocaine Cream and Blue Emu Maximum Arthritis Cream. Both are deep penetrating and odor-free. Beat the pain 2 ways and live life. Blue Emu works fast and you won't stink. Available at nationwide retailers.
Hornblower Cruises. The best city view dining experience is on the water. Relax with friends on a Hornblower yacht with champagne, a delicious 3-course dinner or brunch buffet, and spectacular changing views of the San Diego Bay. Visit hornblower.com to book your cruise today.
Hornblower. Now, from the studios of News 8, live, local, San Diego's talk and breaking news. This is AM 760.
I-5 police standoff. It's 5:35 on AM 760. I'm Jim Charvet. That's one of the stories we're following. We're also keeping an eye on traffic.
I-15 southbound past Balboa Avenue, an accident on the right side of the freeway. Traffic stop and go as a result from about the 163 freeway interchange. That's 15 southbound past Balboa. Also, Mission Valley 163 freeway southbound at Friars Road, an accident, cars center divider. This report sponsored by P3 Portable Protein Packs, the more interesting way to get your protein. Too soon or too late to eat dinner? There's a snack for that. P3 Portable Protein Pack. It's the perfect combination of meat, cheese, and nuts. Grab the more interesting way to get your protein with P3.
Well, the coast is clear now, but earlier today, traffic was backed up for miles just north of Oceanside on the I-5 after a chase that started in Los Angeles and ended in San Diego County. News 8's Brandon Lewis has more.
CHP spent more than an hour chasing Carl Flores from Carson through 3 counties. The 34-year-old initially refused to stop near Inglewood and continued south on the 405 despite numerous attempts to stop him.
Numerous pit maneuvers were attempted. I saw some footage of some of them. They tried to spin him out. He did spin out, but then he recovered, which happens. Our focus, again, is safety. So, unfortunately, sometimes we just have to wait it out.
They waited for nearly an hour, about 45 minutes to be exact. Finally, Flores surrendered. Flores' wife told police her husband is a veteran suffering from PTSD. A structure fire sent smoke billowing into the sky south of the border this afternoon. It was reported a little before 12:30. The thick black smoke was visible throughout San Diego. CAL FIRE said it never posed a threat to the U.S. The city of Chula Vista is inviting the public to learn more about the future of 2 bayfront parks. The first workshop will be a week from today, focusing on design options for Harbor Park. The second will be on the 29th, focusing on the design of Sweetwater Park. The Port of San Diego intends for the workshops to give the public a chance to weigh in on specific amenities, activities, and design features of each park. Another rough day on the stock market. Here's Bill Holland with the latest from Wall Street.
Stocks opened sharply lower and stayed that way all day, closing down about 3%. Apple triggered all of this, as for the first time in 15 years, they cut revenue guidance 7% to $84 billion, and that saw Apple accounting for about a third of the decline, as the computer-driven operations and analysts all piled on. So this may prove to be the best opportunity to buy Apple that we'll see this year, but how many others will have a China problem? Bill Holland, AM 760, KFMB.
We turn now to News 8's Heather Myers for your microclimate forecast.
Beautiful clear skies across the county, and those clear skies without any wind means that tonight's overnight temperatures will drop down yet again. We should start the morning again in the 20s and 30s for many parts of San Diego County, 40s along our coastline. We are tracking some rain moving in, looks like late Saturday into Sunday. On AM 760, I'm News 8's Heather Myers.
Right now it's clear in 54 in Chula Vista. The USD Toreros men's basketball team begins conference play tonight when they visit Santa Clara. Tip-off is at 7. There's more of the Brett Winterble Show coming up. AM 760, talking breaking news.
Hey, Mark Larson here. Join me tomorrow on my show live at local 10 to noon. What about the markets? Where are we going next? Steve Moore, our official economist, joins us, and then some on AM 760, talking breaking news. Now back to Brett.
Okay, let's set the record straight. Order in the court. It's not Brett. Brett's not here. Brett's on vacation. Justin and I, Jeff Isaac Lawyer and Blue Jeans, are here talking law and all kinds of kind of offshoots of it as well. And we have Ray from the Healing Center. We got Professor Dan Whitney, who I went to law school with and is kind enough to stick around. And so we're talking about all this stuff on cannabis and CBD, and the feds. The feds are outlawed it. The state has not, and we see a a wave of states now, not only medical marijuana, which I never understood why that was against the rules, but now recreational. Tommy's got a question in La Mesa. Hey, Tommy, how you doing, man?
Doing well, thank you. I had a question. I had a friend out of state that was saying that the CBD really helped them with a lot of pain, and I've got chronic pain. So I went to the people that they got their stuff from and ordered some CBD gummy bears, and they could not ship them to California.
All right.
So I thought that was a little bit strange.
Well, because interstate, you can't even take those on a plane from, even in California, my understanding. You can't go to the airport and go from here to San Francisco, let alone go to another state that does allow it, such as Nevada.
Well, they're starting to change that for California, so you can travel in California.
Oh, really?
But
Okay.
the problem he ran into, there's different kinds of CBDs. There's CBD made from hemp, and there's CBD made from cannabis. To be made from hemp, the hemp plant is a cannabis plant, but it only has 0.3% THC. And so they don't consider it psychoactive. And you'll see those in CVS. They can mail order them.
You know what I did? I was in a cigar store the other day, and I was trying to get a little thing from my humidor that I got some cigars from Cuba. And the guy goes, hey, do you want a little CBD? I've got some on the side, and if you don't want that, I got THC at a cigar store.
Yeah.
And I went, okay, you're not doing a good job.
No,
on
he's
my-
illegal.
He's illegal.
Yeah, the city's done a great job on shutting down the illegal shops. I got to give them credit for that.
And this, look, let's be honest. You don't have to tell me your numbers or anything. You're making some money on this thing.
Well, we gross a lot, but there are special taxes for us. 280E is a federal tax that came about from the cocaine industry. If you do anything that's illegal federally, they disallow advertising, promotion, all these kinds
Well, you guys, I don't know about you, but I've seen them outside with the signs, people on the corners flipping those signs around, cannabis down the street, advertising that way.
Right. Well, but I can't write that off. Whatever I'm paying for that advertising,
you can't write it off.
I cannot write it off.
And billboards, I've seen the billboards.
Can't write off the billboards.
Let's go to Simon in Rancho Bernardo. Hey, Simon, what's up?
Very good. Thanks for taking my call. I was wondering, since the natural ingredients, including marijuana, is not regulated or studied by FDA, and I don't think there has been any, government-funded studies on the issues since for the past 30, 40 years. How much of the side effects has to do with, say, placebo effect or the psychological, say, pressure, or social, psychological of the patient? For example, I would figure if the marijuana was like such a great medicine, almost any other country that does or does not regulate it would be on the bandwagon of, prescribing it to patients all over the place.
Well, Israel is really big into cannabis, and they've funded studies and so on there. The problem we have in the United States, the federal government doesn't want anything to do with cannabis, and if you can't get cannabis to the universities, they can't do the studies. So we're sort of stuck in...
oh, wow.
Yeah, so you can't... They have a grow in Kentucky where the government actually grows marijuana, but the universities cannot get access to it because it's considered no use to anything. And that's
Actually,
such a lie.
I believe back in 60s and 70s, there were some patients that were